everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Peanut, and you might have noticed that I haven't uploaded in a while. This is because I have just felt really tired as of late. I've just been kind of going through it right now. Not really gonna get into that. But, yeah, I recently decided that I wanted to make a video discussing my experience, apologies, with, coming out as a demigirl. If you hadn't noticed from my autism video, like the one with me talking about my experience with autism, um, you might not know that I am a demigirl now. I identify as such. And I'm guessing you guys are curious about that because I made the lesbian arc video, and that one was kind of a favorite amongst my friend group. My mom really liked it. My mom really liked it. But I decided to make the sequel to that, the Peanut arc gender edition. So, I just realized I didn't really explain what a demigirl is. A demigirl is essentially somebody who only partially identifies as a girl, hence why they're called demigirls. But I identify in a way where I am partially a girl and partially non-binary. Uh I don't know if I fall under the non-binary umbrella. I don't really know how to explain it. My relationship with gender is weird and fucked as hell, and that's why I'm making this video, because my relationship with gender, it isn't really what you'd call normal. It all started a few years ago. My family was in a mall, and we were looking at dresses, and I've never really been somebody that's been interested in dresses. And someone said like, oh, you'd like that dress because girls like dresses, and it was like this big poofy like pink, very 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 like poofy and big and frilly dress, and I was like, no, no, not really. I don't think I'd wear that. And then they were like, oh, well, well, girls would like that. And I was like, OMG, what if I'm not a girl? Now, I realize how stupid that sounds. Just because I don't like a clothing option doesn't mean that I'm not the gender that that clothing option is for. Or designed for. Because clothes are genderless. But, like, that got me to question things. And originally, I thought that I might be something called bigender, which is like when it's like a form of gender fluid where one day you identify as a boy and then the other day you identify as a girl. And I was like, maybe that's my label. It only took me an hour to realize, like, no, I don't think I identify as such. But I knew that I still identified as a girl. I just didn't know if I would identify as anything else. And then came the fateful day, or should I say night, where I was watching non binary TikToks and I came across one that was like, you do this to test out, like, if you want to use they them pronouns. And I was like, sure, I'll try it. I probably won't feel anything from it. And I tried it, and I felt something from it. Like, being referred to by they them pronouns for me felt overwhelmingly joyous for me. It's something that I didn't really feel before. It made me feel happy, and it made me feel like just overwhelmingly happy. And that night I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Because I was already a lesbian. What the fuck? What the fuck else could happen? And then all of a sudden, I'm hit with this bombshell that I might identify or feel more feel comfortable with they them pronouns, like really comfortable with them. And I was like, but I still like being referred to as like a girl and stuff. And then I was like, wait, wasn't there a label that like, and then I was like, oh yeah, demigirl. And then I like brushed it off for a bit and I was like, no, I'm probably not a demigirl. I'm probably just tired. It's like 12 p.m. And then I slept, woke up the next day, and was still thinking about it. I was just kind of uh marinating in this sauce of, okay, what the fuck am I? And while I did know in the back of my mind that I was a demi-girl, I tried the gender stuff out for a while. I told my friends, hey, I might want to be referred to by these pronouns, they, them, and she, her. If you guys could start calling me that for a week, maybe that would answer some questions that I have. And it did. I went by those pronouns for a week. I stopped. I was like, okay, let me think about that. And I thought about it, and people were still using they, them pronouns for me. Like, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And the thing is that I didn't really mind and I didn't really mind still being called by they, them pronouns because I really did like them. I liked the pronouns a lot for me. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to come out to my parents about this eventually because like I liked being called like a person or any gender neutral terms as well as being called by feminine terms. And plot twist, later I liked being referred to by masculine terms. Not by masculine pronouns, but masculine terms. Like, oh my god, it feels so fucking euphoric when somebody says my boy to me, even though I don't identify with a boy label. It's weird. And now for the part of the story where I discuss talking about coming out to my parents. I actually came out to my sister first. I was in a car ride with her and I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I've been testing the waters with like masculine, I mean, non-binary pronouns lately." And she was like, "Okay, cool." And we were in a car ride and I was just like, "Oh, by the way, I might identify as gender neutral or as a demi-girl soon." And she was like, "Okay, why'd I repeat that?" Anyways, the next person that I came out to, like, after me being like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm a demi-girl," was my mom. I was like, "Okay, mom, I need to tell you that as of late, I have been experimenting with my gender, and I might identify as something called a demi-girl, which means that I only partially identify with she, her pronouns. You can call me they, them." And she was like, "Oh, what do you want me to call you by they, them pronouns, or do you want me to stick with she, her?" And I was like, "Oh, it's okay if you stick with she, her." Like I was completely fine with my family sticking with she, her, hers pronouns. Um Recently I think I caught my mom referring to me by they, them pronouns. I recently got my COVID shot, and she was looking at my arm, and she was like, "Oh, their poor little arm," and I was like, "Ugh, yes, fuck, love that." I eventually came out to the rest of my family. I came out to my dad, my brother, uh, my aunt and her partner, my grandmother and great grandmother, the whole family. Everybody was fine with it. Nobody really cared. Well, they some of them, a lot of them did ask me if they wanted me to be referred to by they, them pronouns, which I found to be really, really sweet because that means a lot to me. To be like, "Oh, what do you want me to refer to you as?" It means a lot to me. It's just the referral of a pronoun, but it means a lot to me because it means that they're taking that into consideration and they're being considerate of me, and that's really fucking cool. And I've realized that I wanted to make this video more than just about me fucking coming out as a demi-girl, but with my experience with gender as a whole and how I've always viewed it. Even as a kid, I never fucking got why people gendered clothes. Like, even as a kid, I draw characters that were male in a dress and all that. A character that I recently redesigned lately that I've drawn with a lot of dresses on is my Cuphead OC werewolf. He dresses femininely and he has really fucking big badonkers for a dude. He's just a guy who likes wearing dresses and it's not really treated as anything special in the universe. Like, everybody thinks that he's hot, because he wears dresses. Well, not just because he wears dresses, but because he's attractive. Fuck. Uh, that was about to be worded really weirdly, but I tend to make characters wear dresses because I now view dresses as a much more gender neutral thing after coming out. I don't know if that's something that people experience after this, but I just view a lot of things more differently after this. Like, now I'm completely fine with the idea of some of my characters wearing dresses sometimes. Like, some of my Sona's wearing dresses sometimes, not all the time. But, like, I'm just fine with, like, clothing now. I think clothes are fucking dope and cool, and they're a good way to express yourself. Like, I don't see gendered clothing as a thing. I like when someone wears a dress, I'm like, oh, they're wearing a dress. Like, it's not like, oh, they're wearing girl clothes and they're girl. Like, I agree that they're feminine, but that doesn't mean that they're gendered. You know, you get me, you feel me, I hope you do. Anyways, something else that I've noticed when it comes to my character designs is that I don't really think about gender when I'm designing a character. I mean, yeah, like when I'm designing a character, like when I'm first designing them, I don't think about what gender they are. I usually think this character is going to have a design, essentially. I don't think about, it's weird. It's like when I'm designing a character, I don't first think about their gender. It's usually halfway through designing the character that I'm like, this is their gender, this is how they're gonna present, this is like their pronouns and all that. This is how they're going to present themselves. And I think it's because I don't view that as, I wouldn't say not important, but it isn't really essential to the character. I feel like if I feel like it's a part of the character, or if I feel like it's something that's important for the character, I'll add it. Like, if I want to give a character like a rough and tumble backstory, I'll give them scars, or like uh armor, or like bandages, wounds, stuff like that. If I think that a character is feminine, I'll give them feminine clothing. I'll give them like a feminine body appearance. I'll give them a feminine hairstyle. If a character is like cocky bastard, I'll give them a cocky bastard look. You know, that stuff. I don't really view gender as really essential to that. Like, if a character does have a gender, then they have a gender, you know. They're gonna have a gender eventually, or if they. I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. I like to call it gender not first, because like whenever I just explained it, but it's something that's not really important to me, essentially. It's all you really needed. Congratulations, you have made it to what is dubbed the end of the video. I have like maybe a minute left to talk, so I'm gonna talk a bit about a few things. I have been preparing to move. My family has just been preparing to sell the house and move. So I might not be active for a while, and that is why I really wanted to get this video out, was because my family, as I just explained, is preparing to move. We're planning to sell the house, go across the country, and all that jazz. I especially wanted to get something out for Pride Month because it's a video talking about me experiencing gender like euphoria, and that's a very important video to make for me because it's my experience. Um, I'm currently just in my room right now. The door is open, which is why you might have heard some things in this video in the background, and I deeply apologize for that. The dogs are also in my room right now, so that might explain the other noises. I got beautiful Maggie here, and I got my dog Harley here with me, who's just been coming into my room all the time. But other than that, I have been playing video games. I've started playing Resident Evil 7 and all that. This outro is a bit long, and I'm sorry for that. I don't really know how to fill in the last parts of the speed paint, but I really do hope that I can get more videos out after this. Even after the move and all that, I hope I'll be able to find the energy to do that. Anyways, we are reaching the end of the video. I love you guys a lot. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.